She became the first Caribbean artist to ever win the show and turned her life into millions of dollars in international fame overnight. Tessanne Chin was born on September 20, 1985, in Kingston, Jamaica, and music was literally in her blood from day one. Her father Richard Chin was a well-known musician in Jamaica, and her mother Christine Chin made sure all the kids grew up surrounded by melody and rhythm. Tessanne grew up in a household where making music wasn't just a hobby, it was the family business. She has siblings who are also involved in music, including her sister Tommy Chin, who became a successful reggae fusion artist. When you grow up in a family like that, you don't really have a choice about whether music will be part of your life. The only question is how good you're going to get at it and whether you'll have the courage to chase it professionally from a very young age. Tessanne showed serious vocal talent that made everyone around her stop and pay attention. She wasn't just singing along to songs on the radio. She was hitting notes and controlling her voice in ways that seemed way beyond her years. By the time she was a teenager, she was already performing at local events in Jamaica, building her confidence and learning how to connect with an audience. The Jamaican music scene is incredibly competitive because the island has produced so many legendary artists despite being such a small country. Everyone from Bob Marley to Sean Paul to Shaggy came from Jamaica, so there's this massive legacy that young artists have to live up to. Tessanne didn't let that pressure crush her though. She used it as motivation to develop her own unique sound that blended reggae, soul, pop, and R&B into something that felt authentically Jamaican but also had international appeal. In 2006, Tessanne released her first album called In Between Words, which got some attention in Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean. The album showcased her incredible vocal range and her ability to move between different genres smoothly. Songs from that project got played on Caribbean radio stations and helped establish her as a serious artist in the region. But here's the harsh reality of the music industry. Being successful in Jamaica doesn't automatically translate to success anywhere else. Plenty of talented Caribbean artists have huge followings at home, but remain completely unknown in bigger markets like the United States or Europe. Tessanne could have stayed comfortable being a big fish in the small pond of Caribbean music, making decent money performing at festivals and events throughout the islands. But she wanted more than that. She wanted to see how far her talent could actually take her on the world stage. The opportunity of a lifetime came in 2013 when Tessanne auditioned for Season 5 of The Voice, which is one of America's biggest singing competition shows. Now you have to understand what a big deal this was. Thousands of people audition for The Voice every season, and only a tiny percentage even make it past the initial rounds to perform in front of the celebrity judges. Tessanne flew from Jamaica to the United States not knowing if she'd even get a chance to sing on camera. When she finally stood on that stage and opened her mouth to perform Try by Pink during her blind audition, something magical happened. All four judges, Adam Levine, Blake Shelton, CeeLo Green, and Christina Aguilera, turned their chairs around fighting to have her on their team. The looks on their faces said everything. They couldn't believe a voice that powerful was coming from this relatively unknown singer from Jamaica. Tessanne chose Adam Levine from Maroon 5 as her coach, which turned out to be a smart decision. Adam recognized her incredible talent immediately and worked with her throughout the competition to select songs that would showcase her range and emotional depth. Week after week, Tessanne delivered performances that left the audience and judges speechless. She sang everything from rock ballads to soul classics, proving she wasn't just a one-trick pony who could only do one style. Her performance of Redemption song by Bob Marley was particularly powerful because it connected her back to her Jamaican roots while showing American audiences the depth and beauty of reggae music when done right. But it was her rendition of Beneath You're Beautiful that really sealed the deal for a lot of people. The emotion and control she displayed during that performance made it clear she wasn't just technically skilled. She was a true artist who could make you feel every word she sang. As the competition progressed, Tessanne became the frontrunner and the favorite to win. Her fan base grew exponentially every week, with people from Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean staying up late to vote for her and support her journey. Social media exploded with people championing her success and taking pride in seeing a Caribbean artist compete at such a high level on American television. When the finale arrived in December 2013, Tessanne performed Bridge Over Troubled Water and absolutely destroyed it. The performance was so good that even the judges looked emotional watching it. When host Carson Daly announced that Tessanne Chin had won The Voice Season 5, it was a historic moment. She became the first Caribbean artist to ever win the show, breaking barriers and proving that talent from small islands deserves just as much recognition as talent from anywhere else. Winning The Voice changed Tessanne's life immediately and dramatically. Overnight, she went from being known primarily in Jamaica to being recognized across the United States and internationally. Her debut single after winning the show entered the Billboard charts, and she suddenly had opportunities that would have been impossible before. Record labels wanted to sign her, major shows wanted her to perform, and her fee for appearances skyrocketed. But more importantly, she had proven to herself and to everyone watching that she belonged on the biggest stages in the world. The win validated years of hard work and dedication to her craft. Following her Voice victory, Tessanne released more music and toured extensively. She performed at major venues across the United States and returned to Jamaica as a national hero. The Jamaican government and music industry celebrated her achievement because she had put Caribbean talent in the spotlight in a way that few artists managed to do. Her success opened doors for other Caribbean artists who saw that it was possible to break through to mainstream American audiences without completely abandoning their cultural identity. Tessanne never tried to hide her Jamaican accent or change her style to fit American expectations. She stayed true to herself and people respected and loved her for it. Now let's talk about Tessanne's personal life, because her romantic journey has been just as interesting as her career. She was previously married to Michael Bradshaw, who was her manager and partner for several years. The two seemed like a perfect match since Michael understood the music industry and could help guide her career while also being her emotional support. However, their marriage eventually ended in divorce, which was a difficult and painful experience that Tessanne had to navigate while also managing her public career. Going through a divorce is hard enough when you're a regular person, but when you're a public figure with fans and media watching your every move, it becomes even more challenging. Tessanne handled the situation with grace and dignity, choosing not to air her personal problems publicly or engage in any messy back and forth with her ex-husband. After her divorce, Tessanne found love again with Dan Viscuri, and this relationship seems to have brought her real happiness and stability. The couple got married and have built a beautiful life together. Even more wonderfully, Tessanne became a mother to 2 daughters, which she has described as one of the greatest joys of her life. While she keeps her daughters mostly out of the public eye to protect their privacy, she occasionally shares glimpses of family life on social media that show how much motherhood means to her. Balancing a music career with being a wife and mother to 2 young kids is incredibly challenging. It means making tough choices about which opportunities to pursue and which ones to turn down, so she can be present for important family moments. Not every artist handles that balance well, but Tessanne seems to have figured out how to maintain her career, while also prioritizing her family. Her husband Dan appears to be very supportive of her career and understands the demands that come with being married to a successful entertainer. He doesn't seem threatened by her fame or success, which is unfortunately rare in relationships where the woman is the more famous or successful partner. Having a stable and supportive home life has allowed Tessanne to continue pursuing music without the chaos and drama that derails a lot of artists. She's talked in interviews about how important it is to have people in your life who love you for who you are and not just what you can do or how famous you are. Her family provides that grounding influence that keeps her humble and focused on what really matters. Speaking of her career trajectory since The Voice, Tessanne has continued releasing music and performing regularly. She's put out several singles and projects that showcase her evolving artistry. While she hasn't had a massive mainstream pop hit that dominated American radio the way some Voice winners have, she's maintained a solid and loyal fan base that supports her work. She regularly performs at concerts and festivals, particularly in Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean, where she remains extremely popular. She's also done collaborations with other Caribbean artists, helping to strengthen the regional music scene and create opportunities for cross-promotion and creative partnerships. Her live performances are still the highlight of what she does. People who've seen Tessanne perform live consistently say it's an incredible experience because her voice sounds just as good or even better in person than it does on recordings. She has that rare quality where she can completely command a stage and make an audience of thousands feel like she's singing directly to each individual person. That connection with her audience is what separates good singers from great performers, and Tessanne definitely falls into the latter category. Now let's discuss the money situation, because everyone wants to know what a Voice winner and successful recording artist is actually worth. Tessanne Chin's net worth is estimated to be between $1 and $5 million depending on which source you check. That's a pretty wide range. but it reflects the reality that exact financial information about celebrities isn't always publicly available. What we do know is that she makes money from multiple sources. There's income from music sales and streaming, though in today's music industry those numbers aren't as lucrative as they were in the CD era. Streaming services pay artists very small amounts per stream, so even songs with millions of plays don't generate huge fortunes unless you're at the absolute top of the charts. A significant portion of Tessanne's income comes from live performances and touring. When she performs at concerts, festivals, and private events, she can command substantial fees because of her voice win and her reputation as an incredible live vocalist. Corporate events and private parties often pay premium rates to book well-known entertainers, and Tessanne's name recognition from The Voice makes her a valuable booking. She also likely earns money from endorsement deals and partnerships with brands, particularly companies that want to reach Caribbean audiences or align themselves with her positive image and success story. Her lifestyle appears comfortable but not excessively flashy or extravagant. She's not posting pictures of private jets and designer shopping sprees every day like some celebrities do. Instead, her social media shows a relatively normal life focused on family, music, and enjoying simple pleasures. She lives in Jamaica with her husband and daughters, which is significantly less expensive than living in Los Angeles or New York, where many American artists base themselves. This allows her money to go further and provides her family with a higher quality of life than they might have in a more expensive location. She seems to be someone who values financial security and stability over showing off wealth, which is a smart approach that will serve her well in the long term. Tessanne has also used her platform to give back to Jamaica and support causes she cares about. She's participated in charity concerts and events that raise money for various causes in the Caribbean. She's particularly passionate about supporting music education for young people in Jamaica, helping to ensure that the next generation of talented kids has access to training and opportunities that might not otherwise be available to them. This commitment to giving back shows that her success hasn't made her forget where she came from or the struggles that many Jamaican families face. One interesting aspect of Tessanne's career is how she's managed to stay relevant without constantly chasing viral moments or scandals. In today's social media-driven entertainment world, a lot of artists feel pressure to constantly do outrageous things to stay in the headlines and keep people talking about them. Tessanne has taken a different approach, focusing on her music and her artistry rather than courting controversy or drama. This means she might not always be trending on Twitter or making celebrity gossip headlines, but it also means she's built a sustainable career based on genuine talent and connection with her audience rather than fleeting attention from shock value. She's also been smart about maintaining her identity as a Jamaican artist while also having international appeal. She hasn't tried to completely transform herself into an American pop star or abandon the musical traditions and influences that shaped her. When she performs reggae-influenced songs or incorporates Caribbean rhythms into her music, it feels authentic rather than like cultural tourism. This authenticity resonates with fans who appreciate artists that stay true to themselves rather than constantly shape-shifting to chase trends or commercial success. Her journey on The Voice also inspired countless young people throughout Jamaica and the Caribbean who saw someone who looked like them and talked like them, achieving success on one of America's biggest platforms. Before Tessanne's win, Caribbean artists were often pigeonholed into reggae or dancehall categories and weren't seen as capable of competing in mainstream pop or soul music. Tessanne shattered that perception by proving she could sing any genre at an elite level. Young Caribbean singers now have her example to point to when people doubt whether they can make it internationally. Looking at Tessanne's career more than a decade after her Voice win, you can see she's chosen longevity over quick fame. She could have tried to capitalize on her Voice victory by immediately releasing a pop album designed for American Top 40 radio and chasing that mainstream breakthrough. Instead, she's been more measured and deliberate, releasing music that feels true to her artistic vision even if it doesn't always result in massive commercial success. This approach might not have made her as rich or famous as she could have been if she'd gone full pop star mode, but it's allowed her to build a career she can sustain for decades rather than burning bright for a few years and then fading away. Her story is ultimately about perseverance, talent, and staying authentic. She spent years developing her craft in Jamaica before getting her shot on The Voice. When that opportunity came, she was ready and she delivered performances that nobody could ignore. She won the whole competition, made history as the first Caribbean winner, and then continued building her career on her own terms while also becoming a wife and mother to 2 daughters. She's navigated the challenges of divorce and rebuilt her personal life into something happy and stable. She's made smart financial decisions that have allowed her to accumulate wealth estimated in the millions while living comfortably in Jamaica surrounded by family. And she's used her platform to inspire and help others, showing that success is about more than just money and fame. So follow Tessanne's journey and support artists who prove that real talent combined with hard work and authenticity will always find a way to shine through no matter where you come from.